We are aware that proteins are made of chains of amino acids, which often have sulfur compounds. Once a patient has postnasal drip, mucus drips and coats the back of the tongue and also throat, precisely where bacteria exist. Usually, you don't detect the mucus from the nose since it blends with saliva and also drips harmlessly down the back of the throat to be ingested little by little and constantly during the day. Because mucus is comprised of connected strands of proteins, the bacteria have a field day, deteriorating these types of proteins into odorous, creating bad breath or halitosis, and also bitter-tasting sulfur form of substances. Powerful antihistamines don't help, since the drying reaction of the antihistamines additionally produces an issue by minimizing the quantity of germ-controlling saliva. Excess mucus may come out the front part of your nose as a runny nose. Whenever the mucus goes down the back of the nasal area to the throat, it's known as postnasal drip. What can cause postnasal drip? The excess mucus generation that causes postnasal drip has several potential causes, such as colds, influenza, allergic reactions, sinus bacterial infection or sinusitis, object being stuck in the nasal area, carrying a child, specific prescription medications, deviated septum or perhaps some other anatomical condition that impacts the sinuses, changing weather conditions, fronts, cold conditions, or extreme dryness in the air. Meals, for instance, hot and spicy meals can cause mucus movement. Gases from chemical substances, cosmetics, washing products, smoke, or perhaps some other irritants. Postnasal drip, according to Remedyland, can very easily produce a halitosis, and it is actually certainly one of the primary reasons behind bad breath in kids. Like we've claimed before, the bacteria that produce the smells of bad breath make itself at home on the back of the tongue. Since the chemical composition of postnasal drip has proteins made from the amino acids cysteine and also methionine, the bacteria deteriorate these types of proteins into hydrogen sulfide, the terrible egg odor, and also methylmercaptan, the odor of used socks. The identical chemical activity occurs when patient has a temperature or painful throat, which is frequently known as the sick odor. Signs and symptoms of postnasal drip. Postnasal drip generates an irritating sensation which makes you want to frequently clear your throat. For the reason that the sensation of the fluid in the throat is aggravating and carries inflammatory ingredients, postnasal drip also can result in a cough, which frequently worsens during the night. Actually, postnasal drip is the single most typical reason for persistent cough. Excess mucus flowing down the throat may additionally cause you to feel hoarse and produce a painful throat. Mouth breathers tend to be more at risk of bad breath, much like snorers. This really is because of the force of air continuously drying off the oral tissue and tongue surface area, which interrupts the defense afforded by saliva. One source of bad breath and connected nasal malodor is a foreign shape trapped in the nasal area. Luckily, these types of situations are nearly always restricted to young children, hopefully. These types of foreign objects can vary from meals to tough beads. In situations of bad breath in young kids, it is advisable to initially look at the nasal pathways to ensure these are not obstructed. In much more uncommon situations, insufficient swallowing of undersized objects can generate local bacterial infections in the upper respiratory tract, producing oral malodor, without the most typical symptoms found. Additional techniques you can try cure postnasal drip incorporate using a mucus-receding prescribed medication, making use of saline nasal sprays or perhaps nasal irrigation to cleanse unwanted mucus, harmful bacteria, allergen particles, as well as other aggravating elements from the sinuses. Switching on a vaporizer or humidifier to improve the humidity in the air. For those who have allergic reactions, methods to decrease your triggers incorporate protecting your mattresses and pillowcases with dust-proof protections. Rinsing all bed covers, pillowcases, and bed mattress covers frequently in warm water. Dusting and also cleaning on a regular basis.